Great question, Melody. The air is full of compounds. In fact, it's a mixture of gases like nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. But today we will be diving into inorganic compounds, the substances found in salt, metals, minerals, acid, bases, and even the air we breathe in.
Wait, what are inorganic compounds?
Organic compounds are chemical substances that are not based on carbon-hydrogen bonds.
Wow, that's amazing! But why is NaCl called sodium chloride?
Good question. The formula NaCl is called sodium chloride because of the rules of organic nomenclature.
Nomenclature? What's that?
Nomenclature is the system used to name compounds, just like the formula NaCl is named sodium chloride.
We get it now. Thank you, sir.
This video covers the 5 types of organic compounds, their naming rules, examples, and the basics of balancing chemical equations. So, let's get started.
Ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are found when electrons are transferred between atoms, creating cations, which are positive ions, and anions, which are negative ions. They are held together by electrostatic attraction. Rules for naming ionic compounds. Number 1. Write the name of the cation first. Number 2. Write the anion and change its ending to ITE. The examples are NaCl becomes sodium chloride, KBr becomes potassium bromide, and ZnO becomes zinc oxide. If the metals has multiple charges, use Roman numericals. For example, FeC2 becomes iron with the Roman numericals of 2 chloride. FeCl becomes iron 3 chloride, and CuCl2 becomes copper 2 chloride. And of course, don't forget the crisscross rule to balance charges. First, write the ions with their charges. Then, crisscross the charges as subscripts. Lastly, simplify if needed. These are the examples. And now, it's time for me to ask you questions. In each question, I will give you 5 seconds to think. Number 1. What is the name of CaF2? The answer is calcium fluoride. Number 2. Write the formula of magnesium chloride. The answer is MgCl2.
Next up, we have oxides, oxyions, and oxyacids. Oxyions. What are oxyions? Oxyions are anions of oxygen and 1 other elements. Ends with the suffix ate, it means it has more oxygen. But if it ends with the suffix ite, it has less oxygen. For example, we have SO4 minus or sulfate, SO3 minus or sulfite. Lastly is NO3 minus or nitrate. And now let's go to oxyacids. Oxyacids. What are oxyacids? Oxyacids refers to acids formed by the combination of hydrogen and polyatomic ions. If the ion ends in ATE, change it to IC, acid. Examples we have is SO4 2 minus sulfate and H2SO4 that will become sulfuric acid. Another is SO3 2 minus sulfite and H2SO3 that will become sulfurous acid. And another is NO3 minus nitrate and HNO3 that will become nitric acid. Questions. What kind of acid is formed from NO2 minus or nitrite? I will give you 5 seconds to answer. That's right. The answer is HNO2 or nitrous acid. Number 2. Write the name of ClO2 minus. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. That's right. The answer is chloride.
In chemistry, acids are substances that donate hydrogen ions or protons when dissolved in water. There are two main types. Binary acids are a type of acid that consists of two elements, which are hydrogen and a non-metal element. And when dissolved in water, these acids release hydrogen ions, making the solution acidic. The format is hydro plus non-metal root plus IC acid. The examples are hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid, and hydroiodic acid. So, we're gonna go with oxyacids. Oxyacids are acids that contain hydrogen, a non-metal element, and oxygen. When dissolved in water, they also release hydrogen ions, but the presence of oxygen is what distinguishes them from binary acids. Oxyacids are named based on the polyatomic ion they contain. If the polyatomic ion ends in ATE, the acid name ends in IC acid, which are examples like sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and chloric acid. And if the polyatomic ion ends in ITE, the acid names in OUS acid, which are sulfuric acid, nitrous acid, and chlorous acid. So now we're gonna go with the questions. What is the name of HBr? I'll give you 5 seconds to think. The answer is hydrobromic acid. For our second question, write the formula for phosphoric acid. I'll also give you 5 seconds to think. The answer is H3PO4.
Good day everyone. Now we will be talking about polyatomic ionic compounds. So these compounds form when polyatomic ions bond with metals or other ions. Now the rules for naming these polyatomic ionic compounds, the first rule is name the cation first. And the next rule is name the polyatomic ion as it is. So for example, this formula, it first named the cation and then the polyatomic ion. So you can see that it is sodium nitrate. For this formula, cation first and then polyatomic ion. So for this formula, potassium sulfate. We also have prefixes and suffixes. The prefix hypo and per and the suffix ite and it. So we use the prefix hypo if it has the least amount of oxygen. The prefix ite if it has least oxygen. And the prefix ate if it has more oxygen. And then we use per, the prefix per if it has most oxygen. For example, hypochlorite, which has the least amount of oxygen. Hypochlorite. Chloride, which has the second to the less oxygen. Chlorate, which has second to the most oxygen. And perchlorate, which has the most oxygen out of the four. Now that I explained the rules in naming polyatomic ionic compounds, I would want you guys to answer these questions. Please pause the video if you're, and then unpause to see the answer. Now that I explained the rules in naming polyatomic ionic compounds, so the answer to the first question is sodium carbonate. And the second question, wherein you write the formula, this is the formula. Okay, thank you for listening.
Bases are substances that accept hydrogen ions or release hydroxide ions. Rules for naming bases. Firstly, name the metal first. Use Roman numerals if needed. Secondly, add hydroxides. For the following examples are NaOH is equals to sodium hydroxide. KOH is equals to potassium hydroxides. Fe parenthesis OH2 is equals to iron 3 hydroxides. For the questions, I only give 5 seconds. First question, what is the name of Ca parenthesis 2? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is calcium hydroxides. For the second question, what is the formula of aluminum hydroxides? 5, 4, 1. The answer is Al parenthesis OH2.
Balancing equations means making sure the numbers of atoms of each element is equal to both sides of a chemical reaction, following the law of conservation of mass.
Rules and balancing equations. Step 1. Write formulas correctly. Don't change subscripts. Only add numbers in front. Those are called coefficients. Step 2. Separate the reactants and products. List down the elements of both reactants and products.
And for step 3, count atoms. Check how many atoms of each element are on both sides. And then step 4, balance step by step. Start with metals, then non-metals, and save hydrogen and oxygen for last. And for step 3, count atoms. Check how many atoms of each element are on both sides. And then step 4, balance step by step. Start with metals, then non-metals, and save hydrogen and oxygen for last.
Step 7, double check. Make sure the number of atom matches on both sides.
Balance this. H plus O right pointing arrow hydrogen oxide. Count. 2H, 2O on left, 2H, 1O on right. Add 2 in front of HO right pointing arrow H plus O right pointing arrow 2 hydrogen oxide. Now hydrogen is 4 on the right, so put 2 in front of H right pointing arrow 2H plus O right pointing arrow 2 hydrogen oxide.
And that's it, Bettinus. We've learned how to name inorganic compounds and balance chemical equations.